Hello, assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Walaikum assalam. Okay, how are you?
I am fine, sir. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Thank you. Okay, so basically, today we also start our second day class, and after starting the second day class, we also try to complete our the first day some part. Then we will move to the second day. Okay. So
Yes.
I simply share my screen. Okay, now can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so basically, previous day I also try to discuss some basic principle of JavaScript syntax. All of the things print, then string, then number, then comments, then list, then dictionary, then function using the JavaScript syntax. So in this time, I also try to show you that all of the things using the Python, so that you can also relate it. What is the comparison between the Python and JavaScript? So in this time, I will try to discuss about the Google Earth Engine detailed comparison between the Python and JavaScript. So basically, JavaScript code editor, it's a totally powerful code editor. So here you can get easily all of the tab, asset tab, skip tab, get link button, different types of operation we can get in the JavaScript code editor, and we can easily work with this. Okay, but when you want to move to the Python API, you did not find the powerful code editor, but this Python has another facilities. This facilities is that Python has some powerful library. Suppose TensorFlow, Keras, Skitlearn, MXNet, Pandas, lot of NumPy, lot of powerful libraries available in the Python. So it is very easy to develop our model using the machine learning or deep learning for the Python. Okay, using the Google Earth Engine platform. But it's very difficult to using the JavaScript when you want to work with the different types of machine learning using the TensorFlow or Keras. It's not available in the JavaScript program. But when you want to work with the Python, then you can easily work with the different types of machine learning, different types of machine learning libraries, TensorFlow, Keras, Skitlearn, Pandas, NumPy. Okay, we can easily work with this. So that's why in this time I also try to I will not only focus the JavaScript, but also I also focus in the Python, so that you can easily understand all of the details about the JavaScript and Python, and you also learn all of the things. Okay, so in this time I simply
Sir, I want to sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I want to know one more thing. Like yesterday, I attended the classes, but I do not get any PDF or something like hard copy, because I don't have internet at my home. So, and the video was also online video. That was not people. I cannot save the video. Maybe for security reason, I don't know. I cannot save the video.
Okay, so
I want PDF or PPT, something like that, so that I can study. You can trust me. I can assure you that I will not share your information or anything, because I am paying for this program, and this is my completely personal.
So I also send you this the PPT, and basically and video, basically we can access the video in our YouTube channel from the online. So anyone can get the lifetime support from the video from the YouTube channel. Okay, so that's why I will give the access, and I also send you the PPT so that you can also read the PPT and also understand all of the things. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So in this time, I also try to discuss some basic comparison between the Python and JavaScript. So I simply open my code editor. In this time, all of the things I already show you all of the things in the JavaScript. In this time, I also showing all of the same thing in Python, so that you can easily understand all of the things. Okay. So I simply open my code editor. I am using here the Colab. So I simply search at the Google Colab or Collaboratory. So now I simply open a new code book. and then I simply open a new notebook. Okay, so in this time, first of all, I will try to discuss about the suppose comment. So comment, when you want to define the comment in JavaScript programming, we simply use here the forward slash. Then we can write our comment. Okay. Suppose I want to just write the forward slash and write our comment. So comment basically is not, this comment is not executed. Okay. Comment is not executed or run when you want to commenting any line or anything. In this time, when you want to Python programming language, when you want to make the comment, you need to use here the hash sign. Okay, so mainly this is the hash sign. This hash sign, when you want to declare any comment, then we can use the hash sign. Suppose I simply use the comment print. Okay, so in this time you can see this line of code, it just a comment. Okay, it's not executed. When I want to click here, you can see this code will be I did not get any wrong. You can see it will be work because this is the totally comment. Okay, so comment, mainly we can add the comment so that anyone can easily understand what I want to say in the code. Okay, in this time you can see it will be run, but if I ignore this hash sign and click to the run, you can see already we can get the wrong. Okay, so basically we can, when you use the Python, we can use here the comment sign as a hash. After hash, then I can simply make the comment. So in this time I simply write the comment, I talk about print function. Okay, I simply, in this time I talk about the print function, I simply write the comment, this line is not executed. Okay, in this time print, so mainly you already know about the print. When you want to print anything, we need to use here the print function. So it's the same function, print function. The print is the same JavaScript and Python. We simply use here the print function. JavaScript as well as also Python, we can use the print function. Suppose I want to print here this number 2022 and then click to the run, you can see now it will be printing our 2022. Okay, it will be work. And suppose I want to print some string, and this is the same way. Suppose I want to print and then I simply make the string, suppose Bangladesh, and when I click to the run, you can see what I can get. I already get the wrong, you can see. Okay, because this is the string, and when you want to print the any string in Python or JavaScript programming language, you must be use here the single quote or double quote, otherwise it's not run. I simply click run, you can see now it will be work. Okay, and variable, and what is the variable? We already know about the variable. Variable are used to store any object, any number, any dictionary, any list, all of the things. Okay, suppose when you want to use the JavaScript programming language, then we use here the var keyword, then put the variable name, then use here the equal sign, then put the variable value. Okay, then put the value. Okay, so like this. When you want to use the JavaScript programming, you must be use the var keyword, then use here the variable name, then equal sign, then value. But in this time when you want to use the Python, you don't need to use the var keyword. Okay, I simply remove the var keyword. Okay, then I simply, you can see this is the variable name, I only use the variable name, then use here the equal sign and then put my value. My value is the median. So in this time, this variable, I stored the value median. Okay, and this is the string, so that's why I need to use here the single quotation. Okay, in this time I want to print this, so I simply use here the print, and then I simply call the variable name and then click to the run. So now you can see it will be executed. Okay, this is the very same way. So basically Python and JavaScript totally same way, or same programming language. Some specific difference in the keyword or key value like this, but all of the things will be same. Which person will be learn the JavaScript, they can easily learn the Python. Okay, in this time you can see, suppose I want to make the list. When you want to make the list, so we can say suppose when you want to learn the JavaScript programming, we can simply use here the square bracket. Okay, we can simply use here the square bracket for making the list. In the list, we can add here the different type of list items. Suppose I want to add here the some year. Suppose 2000, 2005, suppose 2010, 2020. Okay. This is my list item, list item, list item, list item. I need to all of the list item I want to store in a variable. So in this time, this is the Python. So that's why we did not use the var keyword. We can only use the variable name. Suppose this variable name is the year and store it. Okay. So now you can see what happened. This is the list. This list is stored in the variable year. And then I want to print this. I simply use the print function. And then I simply call the year. And click the run. We can say I can get the result. Okay. In this time, suppose I want to print the some string, make the list. Suppose I simply use here the country name, suppose Bangladesh, because this is the string. String must be, you need to use here the single quotation. Suppose India, then Pakistan.
Sir,
Yeah, you can ask me any question.
In program number 4, hash I talk about print function.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this function, print has been defined here. Then you did print 2020.
No, actually, I did not import any print function. This print already enroll in this collab. Okay. So collab, this is the facilities. So basically, we can suppose when you want to work with the NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, all of the library, all of the Python library is already installed in the collab. Okay. So that's why we don't need to use here then another module or package. But when you want to use here the Jupyter notebook or other IDE, then you also need to import the Python. You need to install the Python. Okay. But in this time, in this system, this collab already installed the Python. Okay. If you want to check what is the Python version, I want to check it. So I simply add the Python. Then I simply use here the calculate the Python version. So I think this is not keyword for Python version item.
So I want to know one thing, that in program number 4,
Yeah.
that is there any relation with this print or the line hash I talk about the print function?
Okay, so it has
any
the
relationship?
no relation, no relation. If I remove it, then it also okay. You can see.
Okay.
Basically, this is the comment. What I want to
Comment.
say in here. So comment it can anything, or anyone can understand about this code.
And it's cached the library print from the section and directly print my output.
Yeah. Yeah.
It use the function from library.
Yeah. And this function already installed in the Google Colab.
Yes.
Suppose in this time you can see this is the another list. I simply put the list variable name is the country, and this is the Python. So that's why I don't need to use here the var keyword. Okay. That's why I didn't. I simply use here the suppose another country in here. I simply put the Nepal, and then I simply just print this, and then I simply call the country this variable name, and paste here, and then click to the run. So now I can say I can get the result. Okay. Suppose in the same way when you want to make the dictionary. So we already know about the dictionary. Dictionary has a two part: keyword, and key value. Okay, and it's a pair. Okay, keyword and key value. Suppose I want to make a dictionary. When you want to make the dictionary, you must be using the curly bracket like this. And we also use the same curly bracket in the JavaScript programming. Okay. In this time, suppose I want to use here the one thing. Suppose I want to simply use the keyword. Suppose country. And what is the key value of the country? I simply put the key value is the Bangladesh. Suppose I want to take the another keyword and key value. Suppose I simply put here the suppose capital. I simply put here the capital is that Dhaka. I simply use here the another thing is that suppose I simply put here the currency and put here the currency is the Taka. Okay. Sorry. So just a minute, I have a phone, then I continue again.
Okay, okay, sure.
So now you can see here, I simply take the another key value and keyword, and all of the things I want to store in a variable. I simply take the variable, suppose dictionary. You can use any variable name, dictionary, and then put here, and then click to the run. So now you can see it will be execute our code. Okay, and I simply print this. I need to print for showing the dictionary. Okay, I simply print function and then call the dictionary and paste here and click to the run. Okay, so now you can say I will say the keyword and key value, keyword and key value. In this time, I also define the function. So mainly when you want to define the function in JavaScript programming, then we can also use here the some keyword and function keyword of function keyword, and we also use here the curly bracket, then use here the argument, all of the things we want to add. But in this time, when you want to use the function, you want to create the function using the JavaScript Python programming, then you don't need to use here the anything. In this time, when you want to, suppose I want to create a function, this function calculated any two number between their addition, subtraction, multiplication and division, any two number in the world. You just simply put the value and you can get the result. Okay, so we also create the same function in JavaScript programming. Okay, so same function, any two number you want to calculate it, addition, subtract, division and multiplication. And in this time we also create the same function. In this time we use here the Python. Okay, so mainly when you want to create the function in the Python, we need to use here the this keyword we need to use. Okay, def, we need to use this function. After this we need to use a variable name. Okay, so you need to use a variable name. Suppose I put the variable name is that, suppose calculator. Okay, then I use here the parenthesis, and in this parenthesis I want to put my element name. What is my element? I simply put my element name. So in this time I want to calculate it any two number in the world, any two number. I define this any two number is that A and B. Okay, and then I simply use here the colon sign. After this colon sign I simply put my argument. What is my argument? My argument is that I want to print A plus B. This is my addition. I want to print A subtract with B. This is my subtraction. I want to print A multiply with B. This is my multiplication. I want to print A divided by B. This is my division. So I want to get all of the things. In this time I simply call my calculator. This variable I simply call the calculator, simply call, and then I simply push here the, suppose any value I simply put, suppose 120, and then click to the run. You can say I can get the result. And this is the same way you can see. Just we can simply use here the this keyword when you want to define any function. We can simply use here the def, then put here the variable name, function variable name, and then use here the element name A and B, and then I simply print all of the things and put the value. Okay, so but when you want to use the JavaScript programming, then also use here the another function. We need to define the variable name, and I hope you can easily understand about the JavaScript function. And basically this is the common difference between the JavaScript and Python. Okay, so all of the things I hope you can easily understand. If you have any question or any doubt, you can ask me. Any question?
Sir, I want to know, like, define is the function and A and B are the elements. Okay, and what is the calculator?
Calculator is, you can see I define this print. Calculator is the variable name of this function variable name, and I want to simply put the function variable name value is the A and B. Then it will be calculated the A plus B, A minus B, and A multiplication B and divided B. So this is our function variable name. Okay, so basically this is the common difference between the Python and JavaScript programming, and we can easily conversion any code. Suppose I want to write the code in JavaScript programming in here, but we can easily convert this code in the Python in here in this environment. Okay, so in this time I also try to show you the another thing is that I simply open my code editor. Okay, so we already covered the JavaScript syntax, and in this time I also covered the Python, so that you can easily understand. So in this time I also try to talk about the another things. This thing is that client versus server object. So we already know about that. Google Earth Engine platform is a totally server based platform, or Google Earth Engine has a cloud computing platform, or Google Earth Engine has its own server. So when you want to write the code, this code send a message to the server, and in the matter of second this server send you response. So first of all, client. What is the client? Mainly client side means that action take place on the user's computer. Okay, it has the no relationship with the web server. Okay, so client side is your computer. Okay, it is the user's computer, and this user computer has the no relation with the server. Okay, and what is the server side? You can see server side means that action take place on a web server. In this time, this server action take place on the Google Earth Engine server. Okay, so in this time you can see, in this time we need a one thing. This thing is that I need to the server function. So that's why this server execute my code from the Earth Engine server. I need the some new function of the server, and server function is the same for the Python and JavaScript. For Google Earth Engine server function is the same. When you want to execute the code from the server of Google Earth Engine platform, then you also need to add some server function, and this server function is the same for Python and JavaScript. Okay, so I will show you the practical example that you can easily understand. So I simply open my code editor. Suppose I simply use here this JavaScript programming, because we already know about the JavaScript programming, how I can easily define the variable. We already cover all of the part of the JavaScript. Okay, so that's why in this time I also show you the practical example in the JavaScript program. Then you can easily run the same code with the Python API. Okay, in this time you can see, first of all I will try to discuss about the client side. So client. Okay, so this is the comment. I want to talk about the client. So client side means that action take place on the user's computer, and it has the no relation with server object. It has the no relation with Earth Engine server. Okay, so in this time, suppose I want to just make a variable and put the variable name is the A, and I simply store the the value is the 100. Okay, I take the another variable, suppose B, and use here the suppose 80. Okay, and finally I want to take the another variable C, and then I simply addition A plus B. Okay, I want to print this C, and then click to the run. You can say I can get the result is here the 180. In this time, it is totally client based. It has the no relation with the Earth Engine server. If you want, you can use the same code. You can also run the same code with the another IDE or another code editor. You can use the same code. But in this time, this is the Earth Engine. When you want to execute the code from the Earth Engine server, you must be add here the some Earth Engine server function. Otherwise, it's not work. And where I can get all of the server function, I can get all of the server function in the docs tab. And docs tab server function is the same with the JavaScript and Python. This function, when you want to Python API, you need to use the same function. This is the server function, and server function is the same for the JavaScript and Python, both programming language, same. Okay. In this time, you can see this is the client side, because this code is not executed from the Earth Engine server. In this time, I want to execute the same code from the server. So that's why when I want to execute the same code from the server, I want to add here some server function. Okay. Suppose in this time I want to same code, but in this time I want to execute the code from the server. So I simply write the comment for the server. I want to execute the code from the server. So I take a variable. Same way, I take the capital A variable, and I want to, you can see in this time I define a value in here, but in this time I want to take the value from the server. I want to define the value from the Earth Engine server. So that's why I need to put here the Earth Engine server function. And what is the Earth Engine server function? As a beginners, you don't know. You can simply search here docs tab, simply search here the number. So I want to define a new number. Okay, so that's why I simply use search here the number. So here I can get all of the number related function. You can see. So I simply open the number function because in this time I want to define a new number in the server. So you can see here. Where is it? You can see this is the EE.number. Basically, this is the Earth Engine number function. And what is the task of this function? You can simply click to here. Here you can get all of the tasks. You can see constructs a new number. So when you want to define or when you want to construct and when you want to create a new number in your server, then you need to use this function EE.number. I simply copy this variable name and paste here. And then you can see in this time I put the value. What is my number? My number is the 100. Okay. In this time you can see Earth Engine.number. This is the Earth Engine server function. Okay. And this server function is the same for the Python and JavaScript, both programming language. In this time, I take the another variable. Suppose this capital B and use here the same function EE.number because I want to define the number in the server and put here the suppose 80. And then I simply take the another variable and put here the capital C and put here the A plus B and then simply print this capital C. And then click to the run. You can see I did not get the result. I did not get the result because this plus sign is totally unknown in the server. Server is totally unknown for this plus sign. But this plus sign is work only for the client side. Server has already new function instead of plus sign. Server has a new function instead of plus sign. In this time, I use here the server function EE.number. So that's why I also need to add here the server function. Which server function I already get from here. You can see. In this time, I want to need the addition. Okay. So I need to addition function. You can see. So this is the add function. So you can see what is the function. Adds the first value to the second. So when you want to add the first value to the second, then you need to use the function add. Okay. In the server, I simply copy the add and then I simply paste here. Okay. And you can see I simply put here in the B. Okay. So adds the first value to the second. In this time, for the adding, I want to use here the dot notation. Then you can see this is the first value. This is my second value. The add function, what is the add function task? You can see add function is the adds the first value to the second. This is my first value and this is my second value. So now when I click to the run, you can see our console tab like this. You can see number computing. In this time, this number is computing from the server. So that's why I can get the message number computing. You can see. Any question you can ask me.
You just how did you copy the function? You show once again how you to copy the.
I simply click to here. You can see simply click to here. Then I simply and just simply select this in my cursor. Then Control and C. Then paste here. Then it will be work. Okay.
Okay.
Just I simply use. Then if you want, you can simply click to here. Then copy and then paste here. No problem. Okay. In this time, you can see. This code and how I can get, you can see when I click to here, you can see it will be showing the number computing. You can see number computing. It means that this number is computing from the server. You can see number computing. Okay, so in this time, I also try to show you another example. Suppose I want to create a list. I simply take a variable in JavaScript. I put the variable name is the list. And then I simply put the list, suppose country name, suppose I put the name is the country Bangladesh. Then I simply put here the Nepal. Then I simply put here the suppose Pakistan. And then simply put here the suppose India. And then I simply print this. And then I simply call the list and then click to the run. You can see I can get the result, but this is the totally client side. It has the no relation with Earth Engine server. In this time, I want to same code execute from the server. So what is the server function? You can simply search here list. I simply search here the list,
Okay.
and then I find out the list function. So list function. This is the list function. You can see construct a new list. When you want to use this function, mainly we can use the function for construct a new list. Okay, so I simply copy this function from Earth Engine documentation. Simply copy and paste here, and then I simply copy the list. I use the same list. I simply copy the list and then paste here. Okay, and then I simply take a variable in here. I simply take the variable name is that suppose server. You can use any variable name. I simply use the server list. Okay, you can use any variable name in here, no problem. And then I simply print this just server list. In this time you can see what I can get in my console tab. Console tab showing the list computing. You can see list computing. In this time this list is executed from the Earth Engine server because I use here the Earth Engine server function. Okay, so suppose this is the same way. When you want to define the dictionary, this is the same way. You can simply search here the dictionary. Suppose I simply search here the dictionary. I want to create the dictionary in my server. I simply search that. You can see e.dictionary. What is the task? You can see construct a new dictionary. When you want to make the new dictionary, you can simply use this EE dictionary. Suppose I also try to show you that suppose I want to create the dictionary. I use here the curly bracket, and then I simply put here the keyword suppose country. Then I simply use here the suppose country Bangladesh. Okay, and then I simply use here the suppose another thing is that suppose capital. I simply put here the capital is that Dhaka. Suppose I simply put here the suppose food is the I simply put here the rice. Okay, and I simply store this. I simply put here the variable and give the variable name is that dictionary or DICT. You can use any name, no problem. And then I simply just print this. In this time you can see what happened. When I click to the run and click to the, you can see I can get the result, but this result is come from the client side. This result is not come from the server side. In this time I want to use the same code and I want to execute the code from the server. So that's why I need to use the function. Okay, I simply copy and then I simply paste here, and then I simply copy the dictionary from here. I simply copy the dictionary and then I simply paste here. Okay, and then I simply take a variable is that suppose you can use any variable name. I simply use at the dictionary and store this, and in this time I simply print this. I simply use at the print function and then call the dictionary and paste and then click to the run. In this time you can see dictionary computing. It means that in this time this dictionary is executed from the server of Earth Engine. Okay, so I hope you can understand about this. And in this time I also put your the homework is that you just convert the all of the, you can just run all of the code in the Python. Okay, you can the same code. You just when you want to use the Python, first of all you need to set up the Python environment. How you can easily Python environment you set up, I already discussed about this our first day class.
Yes, right.
So you can also try to set up, and then you can get the Earth Engine function. All of the function you can get in your code editor, and you can easily get the Earth Engine server, and you can easily run all of the code from the Earth Engine server. And we already discussed about the how you can easily take the variable in dictionary and define all of the things in the Python. We already covered all of this part. Okay, so I hope you can easily understand. I just put this your HW in here. So is that convert? So you can just practice and face any problem that I also try to discuss, no problem. Convert all codes JavaScript GE API to Python GE API. Okay, so then you can also try also you can the same time you can also learn the JavaScript and Python, two things. Okay, Okay, so I hope you can easily understand, and in this time I'll simply go to my next slide. Any
But
question
before
in
that,
here? Yeah.
of course, before that, sir, I want to ask one thing.
Yeah.
Like the function which you have selected in our in Google Earth Engine is just by searching from docs. Okay,
Yeah,
from
doc step.
dictionary,
Yeah, yeah.
docs from there. But in you told in Python we don't need any type of dictionary. It
Yeah,
is already installed.
yeah.
Is it correct?
Actually Python has the, we already discussed about that. You can see
Yes.
Python
Yes.
has some problem because we did not easily access the docs tab, skip tab, asset tab. We did not access all
Yes.
of the in Python, but JavaScript is very useful and we can easily work with this. That's why they're already included the docs tab, asset tab. But in this time when you want to Python, you need to just copy from here and then use the Python in this code. Okay, you need to also use this code editor when you want to Python. But when you want to develop or you already know all of the things, then you can easily all of the function about the JavaScript, Google Earth Engine API, then you can easily without this code editor you can write your code in here. But as a beginners
Okay.
you need to help this documentation of the Earth Engine when you want to run the
Okay.
Python code. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any question?
No.
Okay, so in this time I simply open my new slide.